listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
James Harden, 0 points in the second half, just 2 shots taken in the second half, 11 points, 9 assists. The final game of the season for the Philadelphia 76ers. Apparently, he has plans for his future in Philly.
Nothing.
You only took 2 shots in the second half. Was there anything Miami did, or was it this?
We ran our offense. The ball, I feel like the ball moved and, it just didn't get back to me.
Why weren't you more aggressive?
Like I just said, we ran our offense. The ball, just didn't get back to me.
What else did you like when Miami came out and went on their run at the beginning of the second half? What were the biggest contributing factors to that? Miami's run that they went on at the beginning of the second half to kind of break the game open. Just what were the biggest things that led to that?
Yeah, bless you. We didn't score. They got some easy buckets in transition, some big shots, and kind of broke the game open.
How would you, reflect or evaluate, in case we don't see you tomorrow, reflect or evaluate on what's happened since you got here in mid-February, and what do you see this team being in the near future?
Man, it's for me personally, it's been a long year, but since I've been here, it's been great. We try to build something so fast. We try to build a championship contender team so fast, which I still think we are. We just, missing a few pieces, but other than that, man, we try to go for it right away, and we just came up a little short. This doesn't stop. We still got to put work in and continue to keep going.
And what do you see with this team in the near future? You said you're going to opt in.
Yeah, we're trying to win a championship, man. That's the goal. So, whatever that looks like, to continue to build us individually, continue to get better, us as a unit, continue to get to know each other, find out what works, what doesn't work, and things like that.
So to be clear, you plan on still opting in?
Say it again?
To be clear, you plan on still opting in?
I'll be here. Yeah, I'll be here. Whatever makes this team, whatever allows this team to continue to grow and get better and do the things necessary to win and compete at the highest level.
James, you said the ball didn't get to you. Does the coach call plays to try to get the ball to you?
Next question.
What has it been like to learn to play with Joel, and then maybe specifically this week, watching him overcome thing after thing after thing? Like, what have you learned about his character over the last couple of weeks?
He'll do whatever it takes to win. You know what I mean? He just, with his injury, he just continues to fight, continues to be there for his team. Even though he's not 100%. So, credit to him for that, for being out there. His presence alone is a game changer.
Did we see you at 100%? You came in with a hamstring. It seemed like it was aggravated.
I was getting there, man. It's like I said, it's been a long 2 years for me. I'm finally starting to, kind of feel okay again. So it'll be a great summer for me to kind of get, to get my body right and be ready to go for next year. These last 2 years have been a whirlwind now.
What's your level of optimism, with you having an entire summer to kind of get right?
I'm excited, man. I'm just like, I've been trying to get right throughout the course of a basketball season, for 2 years straight. And it's like, that's not it. All last time I was rehabbing, and it was a little frustrating, because I'm not used to going through something like that. But it is what it is, and, I'm just happy to be healthy now. I got a full summer to be straight and to do the things necessary to come back even better next year.
And then similarly with the roster, it's tough to put complementary pieces around a team, mid-season, to have an entire summer, knowing you, Joel, Tyrese, to be able to kind of go out there and kind of build a roster that complements you guys, and how big will that be?
That's going to be huge, man. Huge roster, find the things that work, what doesn't work, and just to get to know each other. We've been here for 2-3 months. So we got a summer to be great, and, individually and collectively, and we're looking forward to it.
Dave, I know you're going to opt in, and that's like $47 million. But in regards to an extension, are you willing to take less for an extension?
Whatever it takes to help this team continue to grow and put us up there with the best of them.
How much does what you've seen from Tyrese over the last few months factor into your wanting to continue to be with this group?
I mean, not just Tyrese. The entire organization is built like, they're really good from top to bottom, and so that's the exciting part. But other than To answer your question, Tyrese is his development, his maturity, these past few months that I've noticed has been really, really great. You know, he continues to learn every single day, continues to go out there and compete, and just he has that smile that makes guys wants to be around him.
James, do you feel like you're now in a better situation than you were, say, in Brooklyn?
I'm not here to, I'm in a really good situation though. Really good situation. Appreciate y'all.
What do we say about the Sixers and James Harden?
Change has to come in some capacity. We don't know what, but it was a basketball atrocity. In the second half, James Harden played 23 minutes, only attempted 2 shots, one each quarter, and went scoreless in the second half. This is an anemic performance of epic proportions. Ever since he has arrived in Philadelphia, this scoring champion has never attempted 20 shots in any game in Philadelphia and scored like 25 plus in one game over the last like 15 or 16 games. And he didn't show up tonight. He provided no help whatsoever to Joel Embiid. Poor Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey gave all they could, including Tobias Harris as well. It was not enough.
Who would have thought at the beginning of the season, Max Strus will be outplaying James Harden? Now, you're right. A lot of questions will be asked. 1, are you giving James Harden a max deal in Philly?
No.
2, what happens with Doc Rivers and his job? And 3, the responsibility of a superstar. We want to applaud Joel for taking the floor under these circumstances, but we're watching Luka trying to lead his team. I wonder if Embiid was healthy, how far he could have taken.
$270 million is the extension for James Harden. No way he gets it?
No way in hell.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building with some more hotness. Jay, we got a lot to talk about, and we don't have a lot of time. We got a hot 5 and 5. We got to start talking about everything that's going on in the NBA world, what's going on in the NFL, what's going on in MLB. It's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start, but I do know where to start with one thing. Everybody, you know who's in the building. He's Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. Look, man, we are here. We are getting it in right now. It's the Sizzle. Jay, let me ask you something.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
If you had to start a basketball team, and I told you the only person you could have on your team had to have a beard. If that person's name was James Harden, would you put him on your basketball team?
I wouldn't give him a Jello pudding pop. You understand what I'm saying? Look.
Oh my goodness.
What the HE double triple hockey sticks was that nonsense? What?
Okay. All right.
James
Harden is ridiculous. And I see you're frustrated about this.
You know what? I'm not even really frustrated, really, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I am disappointed, and I'm going to tell you why I'm disappointed, right?
Okay.
This is probably top 50 all time easily, right? Mm-hmm. Probably more or less top 30. I will almost even near top 20 all time. Probably one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen in this league. And somehow, some way, James Harden just decided he didn't feel like playing no more. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this is going to be it. He's play the string out, keep his check, because there's no way you're signing him to any more big money. He's shown you he has forced his way out of a couple of teams that all he did was go out and implode. How? He got up as many shots as I get up in an NBA game. I could get up 2. I could get up 2 shots in the second half, right? I don't understand. How is one of the greatest scorers of all time not attempt to score the basketball? I don't care if he was 2 for 25. I completely understand that because they were D'ing him up and maybe he was making a proper pass, but you don't even get up the attempts. Well, that's one of the worst things ever. I think that's one of the worst things I've ever seen was just a guy who decided to call it quits.
Well, you're not the only one who's upset about it. In fact, let's listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
Reaction to what we just saw from Philly. Congratulations to the Heat. On they go to the conference final. They certainly deserved it. They were clearly the better team. We'll have time to talk about them.
The Heat were the better team, but it was a deplorable performance by the Philadelphia 76ers. We know Danny Green got hurt. We know Joel Embiid wasn't 100%. That performance by James Harden requires an investigation. How in God's name do you play? You go 22 minutes in the second half and attempt one shot. It was a horrific performance, anemic and impotent performance by James Harden. And I'm really interested in seeing what the Philadelphia 76ers are going to do with Doc Rivers, because I smell something and it don't smell right.
Okay, so we got a couple of issues here when we're talking about Philly. You got Joel Embiid, you got Doc Rivers, now you've got Harden. I don't understand what they're going to do moving forward, because I don't understand what their plan is. But as my man, now, you know, Mac earlier when we were in the chats early, he talked about how he felt that Embiid was snubbed. He said that, you know, Mike Mack was really saying that Jokic shouldn't have gotten the MVP. There are a lot of people who said, you know, he shouldn't have gotten the MVP. Joel Embiid was worthy of the MVP. But look, man, after what you saw tonight, after I saw the stats from Jokic, I have no problem with Jokic getting the MVP. What I have a problem with is that we keep saying Embiid is great, but this is what we keep getting. We keep getting these same type of games from Embiid, especially when it comes to closeout games. If you're great, I'm expecting greatness. I'm expecting for you to pull it out, and not what we saw from Philly today. This was not even a competitive game. By the second half, man, this game was already a wash.
Yeah. Well, Embiid needed Scottie Pippen. There's no greatness without Robin. There is no one superstar. You saw a guy go out and give of his body, getting crashed in the face 2 or 3 different times, falling out on the floor. 44 minutes he played. He gave his heart and soul out there for the Philadelphia 76ers. I was impressed by the effort, but he didn't even have Batgirl out there as his cohort. You know what I'm saying? He had a little kid out there running around with a towel tied around his neck, jumping off the couch talking about he was a superhero. James Harden was supposed to be his Batman. He was supposed to put up the bat signal, right? And Commissioner Gordon, the Jimmy Butler, Squire Butler, are in Gotham City, you know, well, actually Philadelphia, but they, the point I'm getting. And we needed Batman to show up. We didn't get anybody. We got SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? SpongeBob.
I don't know who you got. I know what you got was a whole big mess. And I know that it was not as messy, though, as the game that followed it, because what followed was even worse. All right, Jay. So you got Mavs Suns. I'm beginning not to know what to believe about the Suns anymore. Every time I think they're going to do something great, they do something not great. Every time I think they suck, then they come back and do great. So I'm really confused. Who wants what here? I mean, you know, if you let Dallas come in and put the slap down on you, and literally they put the slap down. I get it. You're at home. Dallas is at home, and all things.
No. That had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with it. No, absolutely not.
So
Batman.
Okay, who's the Batman?
The Cape Crusader. Dude, look, Batman is Luka Doncic.
Okay.
That's Batman.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? He went off the court the other day talking about, everybody talk tough when they up. But what you gonna do What you gonna do when I put this foot on your throat?
Mm-hmm.
33 points later.
Mm-hmm.
Fade away, fall back, jump shots. Slow driving. Have you ever seen somebody just put it in second gear and was shimmying and shaking going to the basket, and he could have easily had 50? He missed about 5 or 6 bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
Bunnies he should have stuck, right? He should have been in the high 40s in this game.
Right.
They don't have an answer for Batman. That is not only Batman, but as one commentator says, mama, there goes that man.
Okay.
Look at Dodgers.
All right, so if they have no answer, it's funny because I hear a lot of commentators talk about how they are the prohibitive favors in the West, but then that all kind of falls apart when you talk about the Suns. But if they can't beat, if you can't beat Dallas, then what does that say about where you are as a team right now, Jay? You have no idea. There is no answer for him. There is no defense for him.
No,
actually,
no,
this game,
there is none.
You watched it. It was over pretty much midway the first quarter. By the second half, when they were up by double digits, the game got further and further away. Now, maybe by the time they get back to Phoenix, is a whole different story. We see a turnaround. See a turnabout being fair play. But Jay, what if there is no turnabout? What if Jason Kidd has gotten these guys so motivated that you go into a game 7 where everything's on the table now? It's a dicey proposition. Now you're giving these kids life at Dallas. So what happens then?
This is the curse of Chris Paul. This is the curse of Chris Paul. He falls apart every playoff at the end. We've seen him do it time and time again. We've seen him on multiple teams. He can get you there, but he can't take you across the finish line, right? They don't know what to do. You have a young guy in Devin Booker who all of a sudden realized that other team over there, because they were already, see the Suns, here the problem was with the Suns. They were looking past the Mavericks. We ain't gonna worry about it. That's with. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead, and we're already in the championship game. Who are we playing? Let's take a look and see who we're going to play. Is Ja okay? You know they already had their plane tickets ready to go, and all of a sudden Lucas said, "Oh, hold on, wait a second. Have y'all seen this before? Have y'all seen the finger roll before? Have you seen a Euro step from a European player? Right? He's a dog. He's a dog. And the reason why Luka's a dog, because he came out of tough circumstances. Anytime you get these guys coming over from Croatia and Serbia, they've been in wars and seen bombings and stuff like that. We ain't seen nothing like that here since Pearl Harbor. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been no fighting on our shores. Nothing like that. Ain't nothing tough going on. We got Chipotle on every corner. You know what I'm saying? The toughest thing you got to do is wait for them chicken sandwiches. And what's that place that got the long line?
At Chick-fil-A.
At Chick-fil-A. That's the toughest thing you got to do in the United States. Is wait for a Chick-fil-A. Last time I was there, they gave me an extra biscuit. I want to say a Tata chicken. You know, Chick-fil-A for looking out for them, bro. But beyond that, we ain't got to worry about too much here. Where's our toughness gone? Right? Chris Paul, where was it? He needed State Farm. He needed State Farm. Assure him about this train wreck that was coming, man, that was winning 77, that they're not going to be able to stop. Luka's not going away. Luka's going to drop 40 on him. Luka's going to drop 40 on him because he can't stop him. And that's just it. He's a bad man. There's no doubt about that. He's Batman, right? And Chris Paul is going to melt. Chris Paul is going to melt and fold up. And when you sit in a bad lawn chair, he's going down. It's like me. Look, man, one time, many years ago, I went to Walmart to buy, right around this time of year, to buy some lawn furniture, right? and he had this beautiful plastic lawn chair. You know, the ones, the molded ones you can lay out in. I was in there with my daughter Ashley. She was about 10 years old. I laid out in that lawn chair right there on the floor, right there at Walmart. Put it down. I went, Next thing I heard was crack. Next thing I know, the lawn chair was flying up over my head. I was laid out on the ground. Ashley fell on the floor. They thought she was having convulsions laughing. That's just how Chris Paul looks like in his playoffs when it comes to crunch time. He's going to fold up like a plastic lawn chair, and everybody's going to be laughing at him.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case, then we've already talked about some people folding up. And so you're going to have to help me walk through this one, Jay. Golden State Grizzlies. I think it's the same situation where you have Golden State who said, we don't have to worry about the Grizz. And then once they said Ja Morant's not going to be there and his daddy may not be at the game, it's going to be easy.
Wow.
Contraire mon frere. One of the worst playoff whippings of history of all time happened.
A Taz beating.
It was a debauchery. It was debauchery. It was a Trevor shamockery. Jay, is there any salvation? Because we're really looking at a Grizz team that should be up. I've only seen Golden State win one game. This Grizz team should be up and be headed out. So do the Dubs have a shot at winning this series?
Is Kerr coming out of COVID protocol?
I don't know.
Because obviously Mike Brown don't know how to coach. Obviously. They looked bad in game 4, right? But they eked that one out. And this time he had no answer for nothing. No answers. I mean, I don't know. Do at some point in time the wheels fall off? I don't think the wheels completely fell off, but what I think that we've been seeing, and I really think the Warriors, even though Clay is back, he's not mentally back.
Right.
Clay is struggling. He's struggling mentally. What he used to do naturally, he's thinking about now. Clay's shooting stroke does not look the same. I said this before. I've said it off that last injury. Somehow or another, his mechanics have failed him now. His jumper is not pure. He had one of the purest looking jumpers. His jumper was more pure. He probably had the most purest looking jump shot in the league.
Yeah.
You know, Steph's more of a push shot. You know, like you would teach, like you see 10 and 11-year-olds shoot. He's got a push shot. I really didn't like Steph's shot, but he could hit it. No, I didn't like his shot when he came out of Davidson. I really didn't, but he could hit it. But Clay was absolutely pure.
Yeah, it was fluid.
Just he drilled in. Yeah, he's fluid. Well, now he's not. You start seeing Clay leaning off to his left now. I think he is still injured. And I believe even though he's out there playing, I believe his body mechanics are not the same. And he's not syncing up at the top of his jump shot. And that's the reason why you don't see consistent outbursts from Clay. There was a point in time where Clay could go off on you, right? We saw him drop to 37 at one point in time, but there was a whole bunch of 30s Clay dropped on you on a regular basis. You just didn't hear about him because he was teamed up with the most prolific jump shot shooter we've ever seen. All of a sudden now you see Stephen Curry not being able to hit those shots again, because I think, again, too, he is a little bit injured, but I just believe old man time is starting to catch up to him. I really believe so, because his game is movement. He reminds you of a floor-bound Ja Morant. Let me tell you why. Stephen Curry, his whole game is based upon movement, running people off screens, running people literally to death. But Steph runs you just can't run no more. He's going to find an open spot. He's going to get to a spot and trigger it and pull it. Well, now we're starting to see that he can't run like he used to. He's had a number of injuries, and he's not running as much. Now, he's still getting around the floor, but he's not going for these super explosions that we've seen before. But Klay Thompson is having a big problem. He is not consistent, and when they need him in the clutch, he's not there. The only way I think they win this game is that if you see Draymond, just go out and be Draymond. You know, he goes out there and hits 3 or 4, goes out there and hits 3-pointers, gets you 10, 11 rebounds, blocks a shot or two, hollering and screaming, and he just wills them to a win. This is possible. Now, there's no way the Warriors are going to get smoked again. So this game is going to be within, 4 or 5 points. But do they have enough to get them over the top? This is very easily that the Warriors could lose this game. However, I think they're going to come back off of that behind whooping, off fresh legs too. Because remember, they got a chance to sit down for a full quarter, which they probably needed. Old man-itis. I think they're going to come back. But that was embarrassing. And I think Steph. Here's another thing too. Let me throw this in there. How many times have you seen Steph Curry miss this many free throws? I mean, he used to be automatic. Here's the funny part about it. Poole on his squad is the best free throw shooter in the league on his own team. Stephen Curry's not even the best free throw shooter on his own team now. That just tells you that the torch is starting to be passed now. He's just not. That was for this year. I think Jordan Poole was like 93 or 94% or something like that. So, I just think you see, nobody beats Father Time. I think the Warriors are going to pull this game out, but this is going to be a heck of a game. Heck of a game right here. This is going to be a full-out dogfight, and I think the Warriors are going to pull it out. But they need Clay to go for 30 if they're going to pull it off.
Well, first of all, let me say this: our condolences from Iron Skillet to Adrian Payne's family. It's a lot that's going on. We got a lot at the end. We got to send out a lot of love, man. Condolences for people who've moved on and who have transitioned on. And just a lot that's going on. And maybe Draymond is not the same mentally. Maybe those things are having an effect. But right now, he's not effective on the floor. And if he's not effective, and you're not getting good play out of Wiggins, you're not getting Poole. If you just use Gary Payton Jr. to be the Ja Morant stopper and there's no Ja Morant to stop, then now there's a problem because now he has to have a role and he has to do something consistently. I'm not sure where this is going to go with Golden State, but if they don't get it together, you're going to look at a Memphis and Mavericks Western Conference final, which I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Yeah. Well, too, the Grizz have played far better without Ja Morant. I want to say they're like 20-5 when he was out. Now, not saying that they're a better team without Ja Morant, but they did blow out the Warriors by almost 50 without Ja Morant. Maybe the ball just moves, it doesn't stick. Ja is great, but the ball does stick in his hands. So maybe without Ja Morant, I have a stinking suspicion. Even if Ja can go in Game 6, he probably won't. I don't think they're going to go. I think they found something here, and especially and like you said, and that was one thing I had forgotten that the Glove Jr. He's a big part. That's the reason why he had moved up into that starting in that rotation. He's a big part of that Warriors offense and that Warriors, especially that Warriors defense. And without him now, a lot of that defense comes. Now you have Steph Curry who has to actually play defense now, and I think that takes away from his offensive output when he has to do that.
Well, let's talk about playing defense, and let's talk about the best defensive team so far in the playoffs, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Boston Celtics have gotten a first row seat to what can happen with the greatness of Giannis, with what happens when BP gets with you. And when you got just dogs out there, you got a whole bench full of 3-and-D guys. Oh, and by the way, their point guard, that Holiday kid, he is giving you vacation time, baby. This dude is putting in work. So, Jay, if Milwaukee stays on this trajectory, I don't see anybody in the West. I don't see anybody in the East stopping them. And it's funny because it's the same thing that happened to the Bulls. Everybody got hyped. They were like, the Celtics gonna do this. And then the Bucks just turn on that defensive switch. And even when you're up by 7 points, you're really not gonna win that game. I don't know what's going on.
It's Drew Holiday. I mean, a blessing and a curse was Chris Middleton going out in game 2.
True.
Because now Drew had to step up his offensive output. And Drew can score. He ain't no joke. When he was down in New Orleans, he's no joke. He wasn't a prolific scorer. And so teams start moving him around thinking, well, I can get a better piece. But when you have Thor on your team, I got all, I don't even like Marvel, but I'm bringing out all the superheroes tonight. But when you have the God of Thunder on your team who's swinging a hammer and probably is the most unstoppable force in basketball, and all you got to do is hold up your end, Drew Holiday's your man. And then you got Bobby Portis. Really, you want to fight? Do you want to meet the Milwaukee Bucks in the alley? No, I don't think so. No, I mean, who wants some? Who wants some of the Bucks? Connington, who wants some? Nobody wants none of them. And they're showing you right now. Here's the thing about Giannis with Drew Holiday is that Drew is going to pick up the slack. You saw that great defensive play he made against Smart. I mean, the block alone was just ridiculous. And then to throw it off him, just the smarts to throw it off Smart. That was a double entendre there. I was trying to do that.
That was a good one. I like that.
But the thing about it was that you looked at that situation and you knew these guys were going to play down to the last buzzer, right? Giannis was going to figure out a way to carry this team in, and he did. Now he's starting to hit his free throws. You got Drew Holiday playing well. This is a team until somebody beats them in the East, until somebody beats them in the West. This is my pick to win it all. Not because they're the most talented team, just because they are the team who's going to take your heart away. If you don't come in to play basketball, if you out there, if you still at the club, if you still making it rain, thinking about, Cinnabons is over there, you're going to catch up with her later. Because I guarantee you James Harden's at the strip club. I bet you he's at the club right now. So, talk about twerk team. I bet you he's there right. I bet she's there right now with a bottle of Moet and somebody with a sparkler, Yay!
But can the Celtics, can they make this a series again, or did they just take their heart from them? Because that last game was devastating.
Look, Jason Tatum don't know what hit him. They were the tough guys. They were the brutal boys, right? They were imposing themselves on people. So, you don't want none of this. Yeah, we got Marcus Smart. We gonna punk y'all. Yeah. And all of a sudden they looked up and it was Giannis, the Greek freak, the warrior king. They was coming through there like they was the night walkers. You know what I'm saying? They walked up in there like they was ghosts. What was that, Game of Zones? When you had the old school all-star team coming in there with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan with the blue eyes. That's just how they came in, and all of a sudden they became afraid. Right? Didn't Mike Tyson say it best? Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Right. You got punched in the mouth. And you kept getting punched in the mouth. And Giannis is going to keep punching you in the mouth. Take that one. Oh, Giannis, stop it. Mommy, make it stop. It ain't going to stop. Giannis is going to keep giving it to you. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And we got some more bad, but okay. I can't say bad. It's just.
What's that?
We got to talk. We got to have a serious conversation. So, Steve Mongo McMichael, beloved Chicago Bear, someone we love, someone that we've watched, someone who was the life of the party. He was that person that you thought to yourself, this is the kind of guy I want to go party with. Now, I don't know if I can keep partying with him, but I would like to go party with him one night and then just have that story to tell. But right now, there is a lobbying effort to get him in the Hall of Fame. And Jay, let me hear your thoughts about Mongo at this point. Where do you stand on him being as a Hall of Famer?
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He played on a team with a boatload of Hall of Famers, but Steve McMichael's not a Hall of Famer. A lot of his production came up because you had the sack man Dent on the outside. You had probably one of the best linebacking crews to ever play the game. You had a couple of unsung heroes on that, out of that linebacker crew. You had Mike Singletary, and you had who's playing the left side during that period of time.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall.
Wilbur Marshall, yeah. Wilbur Marshall. I think Wilbur Marshall is Wilbur Marshall in the Hall of Fame.
I believe so. It's so many Bears in the Hall of Fame that you can't even get a good number on everybody.
He's one of the great players, right? He's one of the great players. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, I just don't think he had a Hall of Fame career. I think he was surrounded by Hall of Famers, and when you're not getting doubled and triple teamed all game long, all the time, that you can make. Now, Stephen Michael made plays, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a guy that stood out, right? He wasn't Dan Hampton-ish. He wasn't Richard Dent. He wasn't a guy you schemed for. He was just a guy who could eat up double teams. He could eat up double teams and give you a push, I don't think, I mean, to tell you the truth, would Steve McMichael been who he was had he not played for the Chicago Bears during that period of time? That's the question.
Good question.
I believe Sackman Dent would have been who he was. I believe Dan Hampton would have been who he was. I believe who else on that team would be Hall of Famer? Mike Singletary.
Yeah. Singletary, Hampton.
But as for but I believe they would have been there, but I don't think McMichael would have been there. He reminds me a lot of Yurkovich, a lot of John Yurkovich. He reminds me a lot of Yerk's tough guy. McMichael is smaller than Yerk. But that guy in the middle who was just going to beat you, who was going, wrestle you. That's why he was a tough guy in that middle. I mean, Mongo's all-time tough guy. Don't get it wrong now. But as for being a Hall of Famer, I think a lot of this has to do with ALS, and what a horrible disease, to have this man deteriorate right in front of your eyes. ALS is just a horrible disease. You wouldn't wish that on anybody, and especially Mongo, who later on, I mean, he talked about how his life was, and he was trying to have more of a redemptive type spirit toward the end of his life. But he's handled it like a man. And I respect him for that greatly. But as for him going in as a Hall of Famer, and I probably want to try to do it because they know time is coming up short. But I think if you really were talking to McMichael, he would say, hey, look at my stats. If that rivals anybody else who played that three technique to put me in, is he Warren Sapp like? You know what I'm saying? Look at your great three techniques in the league. Is he a Warren Sapp? No, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that guy. I'm trying to think of another great three technique that was inside he wasn't who was that from Minnesota?
Did Bruce Irving play inside or outside? I'm trying to remember. Bruce Irving,
I'm not sure.
He was outside on the edge. But there are a lot of guys that that comp with Yerk is that's a good comp. That's a really good comp. Yerk didn't have the accolades and didn't have the longevity, but it's a good comp. I like that comp.
McMichael was a guy who ate stuff up in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But so did a lot of guys in the league. That three technique's hard to shine as a three technique. And I believe, he got the accolades because he was, in the 4-6. And there was nothing that these teams could do. I mean, you look at a Refrigerator Perry. I mean, did Fridge have more of an impact on that defensive line than Mongo did?
That's a great question, because I've always thought, and maybe it was just how I looked at the game, I always thought that the Fridge had a greater impact, and maybe not as many plays. But when you say impact, when you talk about the Fridge and what he meant in that middle, he had a greater impact, a much greater impact to me.
Fridge was way faster off the ball than Mongo.
Right.
Way faster.
Better athlete.
I mean, it's not even by far.
Right.
There's no comparison. He probably had 50 pounds on Mongo, and he was faster than Mongo. He could penetrate, Perry was just ridiculously how fast he could penetrate. He was ridiculous. And he was out of Clemson, am I right?
Yes.
I want to say in my mind, I think he was out of Clemson. Yeah. So you look at a guy like that, right, who I think had far more impact for not as long, right? But Mongo gets the nod because he was that original group. Okay. That original, out of that original 4-6. But I just think I want to say probably, Refrigerator Perry probably had more impact on the defensive line than Mongo did, just for being disruptive. I mean, look at Keith Traylor and them. Who kept everybody off of Brian Urlacher?
Right.
Washington and Traylor, right? Was Washington comparable to Mongo?
Better athlete. Stronger.
Better athlete, stronger and quicker.
And when you're talking about three techniques, now I'm thinking about Vince Wilfork, and now you're jogging my memory. I'm like, no. There's some great three techniques who have matriculated through.
There's some great three techniques. There's some great three techniques.
Didn't John Randall play three?
Right. So I think so. I think he was inside. Sometimes he'd be down over the center too. So you look. I mean, is Steve McMichael deserving of all the accolades that you give him? Absolutely is. Is he a Hall of Famer? And I hope they don't show up out here with the pitchforks and think I'm in the Supreme Court or something. Okay, hope I'm just trying to be truthful on this. My heart goes out to Mongo. I mean, if he got in, I'd be the first person. I probably would have a little tear in my eye going down because of him, because for all he means to Chicago. But on just sheer merit, I would have to say no, he doesn't get in.
Well, that brings us to the end of it. And as I said before, man, it's a lot of people that we need to give shouts out to, and rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to he and his family. Joel, the first lady of Death Row, who was on every song at some point, writing or singing or producing or doing whatever she did. A big shout out to her, man. It's so many people that, in a small time we've lost in this small little area, man. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And I really want to take the time to really think about and give kudos to those who supported him. But, the memory of Tony La Russa is such a great thing, that he was able to come back and be a coach and be a skipper at his age. And, we want to wish Tony La Russa a peaceful journey wherever he's going to go. I do know that he's not deceased, but he's killing the White Sox, dog, and I can't, man. I can't.
Wait a minute, hold it. You had me Googling, bro. Like, Tony La Russa died. I didn't hear about it. I know I've been in isolation. I'm like, oh, did I miss it? And then when you said wherever he may go, I'm like, wait. How did is he on a fast elevator going down below? Wait, do you know something I don't know? What the heck?
If I got to watch the White Sox one more time this season, man, I can't.
Oh my God, hey, dude, what is going on with the White Sox?
The
are they
Yankees
reading
put up
press
like
clippings?
a football score on them. I can't,
dude,
and they can't beat what's that new? What is Cleveland's name now?
The Guardians, the Guardians, the Guardians,
the Guardians
Another
of
Marvel.
the Galaxy, man. They cannot beat them. Gamora, Groot, and they just can't.
They're killing them. I mean, the Guardians are no joke, man. The Guardians been wearing, especially the socks. You know, here's the scary part about the Sox right now, right? Here's the scary part about the Sox, right? You think, okay, they're going to pull it together, right? But hold on now, right? All these games mean something too. You know, these games count at the end. They just don't. They don't do like NASCAR, where you drive for 1/3 of the race and everybody stops and pulls over and change their tires and they put everybody back together. No, these leads make a difference. You know what I'm saying? When you got teams that are getting buried 4 and 5, 6 games back, that's a lot of games to make up. Now, do they have the big bats? They have, yeah, they do, but their fielding is atrocious. I mean, I thought what's his name was bad out there. What's his name that ran in there and hurt his knee? No, not Moncada. The right fielder who would just run and fall into the net. What was his name? I can't think of his name right now.
No, I'm not gonna do it with you because I know what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna. No, you're not gonna get any Sox bashing out of me.
It just running like, there's a net. Let me dive into it like it's a hammock. You know what I'm saying? Was I supposed to catch the ball?
Wasn't he brought here to help the defense, to work with the defense, or is he just somebody, the old man wanted?
Well, here's the thing about it was, right? The guy they should have brought in here, Ozzy. That's who they should have brought back. All right.
You're funny.
They should have brought Ozzy back. They should have brought Ozzy back. Right? Ozzy would have had him going. Ozzy would, this nonsense right here, Ozzy would have cussed everybody out. He'd have been throwing water coolers all over the place. He'd have been sending people down, back down to the minors.
Right, everybody would be in the minors. Everybody. Tim Anderson would have
had a whole team of the, would have been in the minors. He'd have been sending everybody back there. Y'all go get it together. You ain't gonna play up here. You know, no, he'd been walking by just taking steaks off people's plates. You don't deserve a steak. Give that to me. Give me this one. You know, I'm saying he put everybody a Taco Bell burrito on their plate. This how you playing? You playing like you in AAA ball. Like, here you go. Here's burritos.
You get a bean burrito. Here you go.
And everybody getting a $7 per diem on this road trip because that's how y'all playing right now. Make that work off the dollar menu.
I'm trying to figure out what it is. What did Ozzy do? I mean, I know Kenny hates him secretly. I don't know if it's really that secret.
You know what? Ozzy didn't take no trash. Kenny is King Kenny. That's his first name needs to be King. And you know what I say goes, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And Ozzy just ain't that guy. You know, Ozzy's a baseball guy, right? Who still was young enough to come in and have enough energy to actually run this ball club. I don't know if Tony La Russa at his age really has the energy to run a ball club because you got to, you know, the issue is when you got all the 27 players, right? You got to set the tone for 27 players in your house, right? In your locker room, right? If you don't have leaders in here, like you got Tim Anderson, he's supposed to be your leader, but is he really?
No, he's not. I mean, that's the reality, Sox fans. He really is not a leader.
He's not your leader. He's a guy out there just balling, having a good time. Nothing wrong with that, but you need a leader out here. This is the reason why you do. This is the reason why Derek Jeter was so valuable to the Yankees all those years. Why? Because he set the tone in the clubhouse. He wasn't the greatest athlete. He didn't have the most power, but those guys went out and balled. When you played for the Yankees back in the days with Derek Jeter, Cap had you ready to ball, right? There wasn't no days off. He kept Alex Rodriguez all together. And Alex Rodriguez should have been the starting shortstop, but he just convinced Alex Rodriguez to go over there and play third. And Alex Rodriguez was a far better shortstop than he was. But they needed Cap out there, right? Who's your guy? Who's your guy right now? You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is they don't have a guy leading them in the clubhouse right now. And your Anderson is not your guy to lead that clubhouse. And Tony La Russa obviously is not that guy. So now you have a bunch of really talented players who are not pissed off yet. Now, let's hope that they don't wait till the middle of the year to get pissed off when they finally look up, oh, man, we're 15 back. You know what I'm saying? We got to grind and start winning some games. Also, you look at it, them trying to get into the wild card, right? If this team plays to get into the wild card, they should not even let them get in the wild card. They should say, nope, you're too good for the wild card. You get out. You go play. You go home now. Because this team has enough. This team has enough to win it all. They really do. But as constructed, their mindset is just terrible. I mean, when you're getting just mollywopped by the Guardians, that name ain't cool. I mean, which one's the most worst name? Is it the Guardians or the Commanders?
They're both pretty.
They should have called themselves the Commodores. You know what I'm saying? And just put like a picture of Lionel Richie on the side of the helmet.
All right.
they just should have came out to what's that song?
Float on.
Float. No, float on is LTD, ain't it?
No, you gotta float on with the Commodores. Yeah.
Wait, Commodore. There's another one. Not Zoom. There was
Zoom or Jesus is Love. They should have Brick House. Oh, they could have come out to Brick House.
Boom. They could have came out Brick House and come out there like We Are the Titans and start dancing, come out like that.
Best song that you could have come out to, could have been their entrance song, is the Commodores' Slippery When Wet.
Slippery When It's Wet. Man, was that one of the best bass lines ever?
Of all time.
I gotta go play that at the next game. We got a game coming up here pretty soon.
Yes, we do.
I'll play a Slippery When It's Wet. Can I play that? Slippery When It's Wet. Hey, anyway. So yeah.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building. He's Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. And before we get put out of here, just remember to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure that once you hit that button, you hit the ting, and then you do the ting. And make sure that you're sharing this with everybody that you love, and make sure that everybody that you love knows it's slippery when it's wet. So, you know
when it's wet, there you go.
It has to be wet because it won't be slippery if it's not wet. So, hey, you know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building. And we will see you, my friend, on the other side.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Skillet Sports on YouTube at Iron Skillet Sports.